Hey, Front Seat Real Estate, Sean Provencher here, and I am down in Las Vegas at the Family Reunion Convention with my good buddy Marie Hoffman from California. Say hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you asked me to do this, Sean.
We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Okay, let's go to it.
Yeah, totally. So Marie's been in business for quite a while. She's got a very, very experienced team, and she does a great job at some really simple things that provide a really high level of ROI, like farming and working your sphere and getting a ton of referrals from agents. So we're going to talk about that. But first, for perspective, can you just give me like the 10,000 foot view of what you got going on with your business? What does it look like?
Okay, so I got into business in 1990,
Okay.
and I was formerly at Remax,
Okay.
and that's where I met my good friend Susan Murphy, and we did a little bit of work together. She was on vacation, I was on vacation, we helped each other, and she came to Keller Williams in 2003.
Okay.
And I felt a little sad that she wasn't still with me, so I followed her over there.
All right.
And then we ended up reading the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book and thinking, wow, maybe we can do this. And I said to her, it's much more fun working together than it is working by myself. So we became partners. And that was we started talking about that in 2004, 2005, so we've been partners since 2006. And then we were in Gary Keller's mastermind group, and we kept thinking, wow, we're going to build a team. And failing forward over and over and over again, we now have, there's 11 people on our team, and what we're probably most proud of is a lot of longevity on our team. Our transaction coordinator's been with us for 11 years, our sales director for 7, buyer specialists between 5 and 10 years, so we have a really great team. There's
awesome.
10 women and one wonderful young man that just joined us.
Fought his way in the door.
Yeah, he didn't have to
awesome.
fight too hard.
So one thing that sticks out to me about your story is starting in 2003 and forming a partnership with someone 13, 14 years later.
Right.
That must have been a huge decision for you.
As far as going from being a solo agent
Well, that's just
to
such
being
a
on a
huge
team.
trajectory change. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. It's kind of like when you find somebody that you just know that you want to spend the rest of your life with and get married
You
to.
were in love.
I felt like it's kind of like that Jack Nicholson quote in As Good as It Gets. He said, you know, to Helen Hunt, he said, you know, you make me want to be a better man. And Susan Murphy made me want to be a better person. And truthfully, doing real estate is just a vehicle to make a difference in people's lives. It happens to be what I do, my job, but making a difference in people's lives and doing it with Sue at the beginning in 2006, and then finding this amazing group of 10 or 11 people that actually go to work wanting to make a difference is, it's like worth getting up in the morning for.
It's awesome. So you're in California.
We are.
Just
We are.
south of,
So if you were to fly into the Los Angeles airport and not go to Beverly Hills 90210, which is just north of us, just south of the Los Angeles airport, or Manhattan, Hermosa, Redondo beaches, and Torrance, and you know, little cities. LA is all enmeshed. There's no open space.
Yep.
So we're about 10 miles below the Los Angeles airport, along the beach, and then inward. That's where we work.
Okay.
And that's where I was born. So
you know it's your hood, your
it's
stomping
my hood.
grounds.
It's my hood. Sue's hood as well.
Okay, awesome. So tell me a little bit about what you do really well. You mentioned that you have a lot of experience doing events, working with your sphere, stuff like that.
Right,
Can you tell me a bit about that? How did that start? What do you do? What do you hold yourself accountable to?
So I think that, you know, the typical real estate agent thing that you're supposed to do is you go, you know, who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? We really decided to do a business that had to do with what we all love. And we all are involved in different things that are very local. So I'm a jazzercise instructor, have been since 1987.
Got the airport and everything.
I know,
That's
right?
awesome.
I know. And still teach, actually.
No way.
So I started doing business with people that were in my jazzercise class, and then we started doing client events. I love to garden, so we started doing I started doing garden seminars, and then issues with getting rid of clutter in your life. So we started doing getting rid of clutter in your life. Then my mom got Alzheimer's, and I realized that there's no manual for taking care of a parent that has dementia. So we started doing seminars about that. So I think that's a long-winded answer, but we started to look at what people needed information. You know, Keller Williams is a learning-based company. That's like the most important thing is, are you learning-based? And we're learning-based, so we started realizing that we have to be teaching-based too. Once we learn something, let's teach it. So we started doing that, and we attracted people to come and meet us, and we weren't necessarily talking about real estate. We do real estate seminars, like first-time home buyers, home sellers, but people got to know us as people, and then, you know how they say, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
And then that started to create real estate business. Now, because Los Angeles is a very tightly knit community, and our team has children, we started to work within the schools. So we made a decision, and you know, my parents were both school teachers, and my feeling is that that the children in our lives are the most important things. They're our legacy. So we started to donate from our commissions to the local schools. So,
and that's a consistent thing, like on every check or something
yeah,
like that?
yeah, since 2014, we've donated $65,000
Wow.
to the local schools.
So do you seek recognition on that, or are you bragging about that, or is that just something that you're doing consistently and people kind of know?
So I think that there's two sides. I'm just speaking for myself. You know, you could ask people on our
Please.
team, but there's two sides to. I want to be a successful business person because, kind of like Gary said yesterday, he said money's about, if you're just working for money, you're never going to have enough. But if you're working for a big why, then you're going to have that, you're going to reach your goals. So there's a part of me that says I want to make a lot of money because I want to make a lot of difference, and I also want to make a lot of money for my team. Okay. So we do talk about the fact that we've done that, and no other real estate agent does that, gives back in that way. So yes, it's two sides. We do brag about it, and we do it for, I think, the right reasons.
Great answer. So I want to go back to these groups that you formed and these panels that you do and these
Right.
teaching seminars that you
Right.
hold. Are you promoting them to your client base of people who you know, or are you promoting them to people you don't know who might become clients? Like, what's your approach to making sure, I guess, how do you make sure that you get the right balance of give and get? You
Right.
want to get something back from it, but
Right.
you don't want to be, offering something with your hand out right
Right.
afterwards. What's your approach to that?
Well, I'll give you an example. I'll give you one specific event that we just did, and tell you a little bit about that,
Awesome.
how we did it. So, or a couple of them, because.
Even better.
All right. So.
We're getting value.
Okay. So. So imagine that you have what we've called a people farm, which is people that we know that live in this, let's say, 20-mile radius, and within that 20-mile radius is also our geographic farm.
Great.
Okay, so there's a lot of crossover. So we market to those people. We do a lot of direct mail. We do.
Okay.
We do, a lot of snail mail. We do postcards. We have a newspaper that we use that we love, that we send out 2 to 4 times a year, and we promote those events. And then we do phone calls to our database. So we have all of our clients in that database, and we call them about these events. So, for instance, last summer we did a movie event in the park, and we got Zootopia.
What's that?
It's a it's a, I'm sure anybody with kids knows, it's like this awesome movie about
Okay,
animals.
I don't have kids, that's why.
Yeah, well, I know. And
I'll know
I
soon,
don't either,
hopefully.
but yeah, there you go. Well, this is an adult movie and that kids like. So we invited everybody in the park to come to the park. We told them to come early, bring a picnic lunch, and we provided popcorn and drinks and the movie. And oh my gosh, we had, I think, about 160 people come.
That's huge.
And the parents, and actually some of the moms, like, didn't come, sent the dads with the kids. You know, they probably were out with their friends having a glass of wine. And then, so they all came, the kids played in the park, and then we had this awesome movie. We probably spent 10 minutes talking, introducing ourselves, maybe not even that. And so that got promoted, Facebook, emails, phone calls, direct mail, and these people left not really having any conversation about real estate, but like, wow,
That was nice.
the Hoffman Murphy team just gave us this night out that we wouldn't have had with our family without them.
Or with their girlfriends having a glass of
Or
wine,
with
being
their-
like, we got rid of the kids for a couple hours.
Exactly. And
That's
then
awesome.
the other event we did a kind of a Santa photo event. Same thing, promoted exactly the same way. Direct mail, emails, phone calls, Facebook, Instagram. So we rented a big hall. We had a Santa. We staged it beautifully, so he was like it was a beach Santa. We had Christmas trees and starfish and this fabulous Santa. And then we had a marionette show. We had writing letters to Santa. We had live floral wreaths, like all these little stations. And people came with their kids. They got their Santa photo taken, and we had a local photographer who donated her time, but of course, she's getting business from
Yeah, of course.
people are going to order photos. And we had, I mean, people were saying my kids didn't want to leave, and it was chaos, trust me. I was like a little overwhelmed. I think we had a couple hundred, no, maybe it was like 300 people. It
That's
was
a
like,
very
yeah.
successful client
Right.
event.
So those are very kid-oriented,
Mm-hmm.
all right? So we have that. On the other end, we have, we do a seminar about taking care of our aging parents and ourselves, and that's a very different market. We have people probably 60 to 70. We really don't have the 80 and 90-year-olds come because it's really just the people who are dealing with taking care of their aging parents and then realizing, wow, my parents didn't plan very well, or maybe they did plan very well, or wow, what's it like to have a mom or a dad that has dementia, or where's the money going to come from to get care when I'm still working or trying to deal with my own retirement.
Yeah.
So we do those seminars, and we get between 30 and it depends on who's helping us promote it. Sometimes we do it within long-term care facilities, and they can promote it in their database. So we might have 50 people come to those.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, and what a great group to be in front of. You know,
Right.
you've got aging parents who are in a home, or in their home,
Right.
and they're trying to figure out what to do to take
Right.
care of these people, and
Right.
who are they going to think of?
Right.
So it's really, really
Right.
just going back to give and get. And I mean, I don't
Right.
mean to be a capitalist in every way, but
No.
it's nice to have a win that comes back to you from that kind of thing, 'cause it allows you to keep giving back by doing that kind of stuff.
Right. And you know what's really awesome is my whole team, our whole team, and in fact it's funny because one of my operations, I should say our operations director, she's taking bold, you know, she's doing an awesome job of getting referrals. So our whole team knows to reach out to people in this way to be helpful.
Awesome.
And then if real estate business comes from when you've already been helpful, that's a much better place to come from than just asking people to send you real estate business. That's my belief system.
So let me just clarify something, because I'm sure some people are wondering right now, when do you ask for business? So you call them up and invite them. They come to the event. They're present at these children's parties. Do you ever bring it up? Do you ever ask about referrals? Or is it just, wow, the group is so wonderful, and then, the phone rings from time to time over the coming weeks?
So I would say 60 to 70% of our business comes from past clients and referrals. It's
60 to 70%.
Yeah, I would say, now keep in mind, I've been in business for 26 years, my partner for 28 years. So if you do a good job of staying in touch with your database, I mean, I think that's really important, whether you're a brand new agent, somebody who's just getting started. Hopefully you've got personal relationships, and you start thinking, well, I have like 4 or 5 friends, but then you've got your family, and it's big circles. That
Yeah.
if you are staying in touch with those people and connecting with them, and you have a reason to reach out to them, it can be something as simple as, wow, it's time to change your heater filter. I always tell my team, like, if you're calling somebody to tell them something that's helpful, it could even be something fun, like, hey, a brand new restaurant just opened up and we just wanted to let you know. They're going to think of you, so that when you you do ask for business. You
Yeah.
do call and ask for
Okay.
business.
Is that at a separate time? Like, you invite them to the event, great talking to you, bye, and then a month later you call them and ask
Well,
for
we
business?
can do it. We do it
So it's not
both
police.
ways.
Okay.
So it might be something like, hey, we wanted to call you, we wanted to let you know, and you can say, oh, by the way,
Yeah.
we just listed a home that's in Redondo Beach, that's right around the corner from you. Do you know anybody that might want to be moving into the area?
Choose your neighbors.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, when you think about scripts, when I first came into this business, the whole script thing was a little, like, disturbing to me. Like, it seemed fake. And then I realized I have scripts.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them. And when you actually ask somebody the question, hey, do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell, or are you thinking about it? And then you shut up and you wait. The answer usually is, wow, I can't think of anybody right now. And it's really genuine, or it's like, gosh, as a matter of fact, I was thinking about selling, a house that's in, my cousin lives in Canada.
Yes.
There you go. But I mean, people do. And you do have to be comfortable with that silence when you ask that question.
Okay. Right on. 60, 70% referrals. Who here would like to have 60 or 70% of their business come from referral? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the thing that I love about this is I'm sitting here thinking she's doing all these cool community-oriented things. She's giving back, and that gives her referrals. But she's also got a farm that she's promoting the same things to, and it's just got this great,
Right.
like, everything feeds into confluence. Yeah, it's a great word for it.
Yeah.
So did that just happen because you're brilliant by mistake, or did you plan this out and play with it for years and years to get it this way?
Okay. I think that I'm a passionate person, but I don't think that I have been on purpose like my whole life. I usually I think I'm a, like, jump into the pool kind of person and go, oh, thank God my parents gave me swimming lessons. So you know what, I did start farming a neighborhood because that was what I was supposed to do. And I did it in a very edgy way. I was lucky enough to have people around me that said, hey, Marie, you're unique. Why don't you try this? And I did something very different than a lot of other agents did, just the way that I promoted myself. Sue was also working that similar neighborhood. So when we came together, it's like 1 + 1 = 3. So we continued to do that farming. And then over time, just kept in that same spot. And because we lived in that neighborhood as well, we knew people, and Sue's kids went to school there, and all of that kind of thing.
So what was it like getting your farm started? Did you start with a couple blocks? Did you start with a big area? Did you start shooting out mailers once a year, 3 times a year? Tell me how you got into that.
So farming is one of those things that you have to do over time.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and I mean over a big amount of time. And it has to be really consistent, and you have to do it a lot. There is no other way to do that. And you can ask, I am certainly not like the expert on farming. I mean, there's people, Kenny Claus, who's in our group, he's the master at that. But you do have to make a decision that that's what you're going to do, and you have to have a budget. So if you are going to just start, say you're a newer agent, you're going to want to do it small because of the budget. So you're going to farm those 200 homes
really well,
really well, and really consistently. And I would say that you would want to have it every 21 to 30 days. You're door knocking it, you're mailing to it, you're creating value within the community. Maybe you have a Facebook page that posts things that are actually happening in that neighborhood. You become a local expert, and you're door knocking that neighborhood. Maybe your kids go to school there, so you're involved in the schools. You really have to do it consistently and on all sorts of different trajectories.
So what was, with farming, what is the single thing that you did that had the biggest response in your farm? Was there anything that really stuck out over the years, or was it just more consistently hitting it again and again and again with similar messages?
Well, just think about this. If you look at our farm, if you think about our farm, that farm has a school foundation. So we've given $65,000 to those schools within that farm. We have 3 members of our team that live in that farm who have kids in those schools, and they are PTA president, and their moms, their moms that the kids go to those schools. We're doing Santa photos. Oh, we do a shredding event. So
brilliant. Bring us all your old documents.
We do all the documents, and we do it at one of the schools that's within that farm. So when we go on a listing appointment, if they've called us because they've seen a sign or they got a mailer and they don't know us, we've never done business with them, they're going to go, oh yeah, you're not the guys that just send us one, here's the comps, although, people want to see that. But they're going to say, oh my gosh, yeah, you're the guys that, shredded 15 tons of old papers. And yeah, so the answer to your question is, my husband always says, Marie, just answer the question.
No, it's okay, because you gave me a really good perspective.
Yeah.
And the thing that stuck out to me in that was being immersed in the school, I think. Mm-hmm. Which makes so sense, because the school is a hub of a community, and families are going to be the people who probably need your help the most often.
Right. And they may have parents, so if they're sending their kids to the schools, and you've got, through high school, so you've got people that are in the 30 to 48-year-olds, right?
They've got a couple trades left, their kids are going to buy, and their parents are going to sell.
Right, and they may very well be the people that we sell them something, and then now they're 50 years old, or they're 55 years old. I mean, you really have to be, they talk about you're a real estate consultant, you want to have a lawyer or a therapist or a rabbi or a priest that's going to be with you through your whole trajectory of life, and that's our goal. And that's why on our team, we have people ages, 24 to 65.
So for comfort, you've got someone that can connect with someone at any stage of their life.
Right, and as we, shift out of the business or change roles in the team, our fabulous team members are coming up and, taking our place.
Marie, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this for us.
Thanks so much.
You're awesome. Marie Hoffman, she's a member of Keller Williams down in California. Front seat, I hope that you got something that you can take home from this today. Marie, if someone has someone who they want to refer you in California, how do they do that?
So you can go to www.hoffmanmurphy.com. So Hoffman, Hoffman, Murphy.com. You can reach us. You can call me on my cell phone if you want, 310-710-1934, or text me. Thanks so much for the opportunity, Sean.
This has been a lot of
fabulous.
fun. There's some good stuff in here.
Okay,
I'm going to
good.
tag her in the event. So anyone who's watching this, if you guys have questions for Marie, please post them in the comment section. You'll answer a few questions, won't you?
Absolutely.
It'll be fun. Thanks so much, Front Seat
Thank
Real
you.
Estate.